back with another live stream today, joined by Alec. Alec, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, dude. It's like 45 minutes late here, but I'll tell you what, it's for a good reason. Um, I was at the Inter Miami FC Cincinnati game and went to extra time, went to penalties, and we lost in penalties. So
One of the most electric games I've ever watched in my life.
it is like, I mean, I don't know what more I could ask for. I mean, two Messi assists.
Yeah.
I could have asked for a Messi goal.
How long ago did you get your tickets?
I got them from a friend, and give me a second here.
Was it worth it not selling it?
Yes, it was worth it not selling. I got them for between 200 and 300. I won't completely disclose the information.
Oh, that's actually not that bad.
No, it was a good deal. That's why I didn't want to sell it because
I was gonna say because I saw some before the game they were like 450, 500.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I mean, if I'm going to watch Messi play at some point in my life, he's only going to get worse from here on out. And
yeah,
I mean, so I might as well do it now. I get to see him at the best he's going to be in America.
Yeah.
But
and ironically, he didn't score tonight. First game he didn't score for them.
Yes, I know, dude. Of course, right? But I mean, his second assist, we had a perfect angle for it. I mean, it was spectacular, dude. I'll tell you what. But all right, but let's talk some football, some actual football here. So we got talk about the AFC North, NFC North.
Yeah.
Both of our teams falling in here, dude. So let's go AFC North here to start. This is an unknown division, dude, to say the least. I think you have the quarterback play, right? Can Lamar Jackson stay healthy for an entire season?
Yeah.
What's Deshaun Watson going to look like on the Browns? And how good is Kenny Pickett going to be? Because this offseason in this camp, he has been spectacular. I'll start with this. As a Bengals fan, do you think you're winning the division?
Yeah. So if you look, and I know odds don't mean everything, but we'll talk about odds when we get to NFC North too. Interesting for there too.
Yep.
Who would have thought about this 4 years ago? But the Bengals have the favorite odds to win the AFC North. I think they're like plus 150 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I really think if Joe Burrow stays healthy, they do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not me being biased. I think the Bengals have the best team, best overall team, best weapons. O-line's a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Bring Joe Mixon back on the restructure. I think that's nice too.
Yep.
The thing about the Bengals that I don't think that Kenny Pickett could be great. I would love that. I think that would make it. The AFC North could be the best division in football this year if Kenny Pickett takes a step into Deshaun Watson's what he was 3 years ago. But I still think the Bengals should win this divition.
Well,
years.
If you're looking at offensive firepower from head to toe, they are by far the best team in this division.
Absolutely.
They have a wide receiver 2 that's probably the wide receiver 1 on 2 of the other 3 teams, right? T. Higgins, I mean, he would go into Baltimore easily as wide receiver 1. I would say probably in Pittsburgh as well. And then
you could argue him over. You could argue him over Amari Cooper too.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But I think that Cincinnati should win this division if everything stays healthy. But I mean, I know you touched on the offensive line being improved. Speaking of offensive lines, the Steelers did some good work with the offensive line being improved. And Najee Harris had a terrible season last year, and he gets a lot of hate for that. I know, not talking fantasy football right now, right? But in the fantasy football world, his stock is plummeting because people are looking at what he did last year. And they're like, no, he's not good. He's not productive, right? He's not efficient. He's averaging 3.4 yards per carry. He's not efficient, but that's behind a terrible offensive line with a first-year quarterback that was pathetic. I mean, to be quite honest. Kenny Pickett in this offseason, this camp, dude, in preseason has been wonderful. I mean, if you didn't know what he did last year, you would look at him and be like, dude, this dude's like going to be competing to be an all-pro this year.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. And same with George Pickens. I mean, you've seen a couple of those clips where it's like, dude, I mean, he's making one. Now, to be fair, the crazy one-hand catch that was like 2-3 weeks ago, for sure an offensive pass interference.
The one over still, Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, like he literally just ragdolled him and then caught it one-handed. That's definitely offense PI. But just the fact that he has the ability to do that is unbelievable.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of unknown, right, going into this. You have like how good is Kenny Pickett going to be in his second year? What's the jump that Pickens is going to make? Because this is a physical receiver. I mean, we saw it at We saw it at Georgia. This is a dude that defensive backs hate to be matched up against when it's a run play because he's just going to slaughter you. And the NFL is a huge, adjustment for that, right? For the physicality, but you've played in it for a year. What's the jump he's going to make?
I think for him it's more route running. He can get off presses, he can block.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can the route running improve? Because at Georgia he was kind of just a deep threat.
Yeah,
he didn't run a lot of.
Well, he didn't need to. I mean, he would.
Well, no, absolutely not. I mean, not on that team.
Yeah, and he would beat him off the line so well. I mean, you try to press coverage him, you're getting thrown on the ground, and then he's wide open. Like,
I mean, because within 5 yards you can do whatever you want. So you're getting thrown to the ground.
No, literally, yeah.
Yeah, but one thing about the AFC North that really, so I think will surprise a lot of people, and I hate to say this, but I think Deshaun Watson's going to kind of return to maybe not a top 3-4 quarterback that he really was in 2018, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that he's going to be a top 10, 11 quarterback again.
Yes. I mean, people forget how good he was, dude.
He had four. I know the Texans in his last year, before he sat out, I think they went 6-10, but he had 4,800 yards
and 33 touchdowns, 7 picks.
Yeah, and people don't remember this. He's a great runner too.
Yes,
he can really move, and so it, off the field stuff, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Just from purely a football standpoint, I think the Browns are going to be a lot better this year because of what Deshaun Watson does.
And this is something that I'm sure is not might not be well received from Browns fans. I think the Kareem Hunt leaving is better for their productivity because, in my opinion, Nick Chubb is the best running back in the league if you're just handing the ball off, right? Obviously, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, wonderful in their receiving aspects, right? Bijan Robinson's going to be great this year. I'm not saying I'd put a rookie up there, but Saquon's great. There's Derrick Henry's a great runner, right? Good physical runner. But you put Nick Chubb put a linebacker in the hole, he's going to run him over. You give him a DB in open field, he's going to hit him with a juke and he's gone. You give him a corner trying to run him down, good luck. He's running 22 miles an hour. He has the entire package, and the more Nick Chubb touches the ball, the better your offense is. It's as simple as that. They have a great offensive line, and they had really bad quarterback issues last year, and they were still decent.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that's scary. Yeah, I think that's the thing that's scary if you're the Ravens, Bengals, or the Steelers. Their defense is good on paper.
Very good.
They bring in a new D coordinator. Deshaun's going to come back. David Njoku had another year to develop with Deshaun. I think he could be pretty good. Yep. People forget that Amari Cooper is just a catching machine. He's actually really good.
And one of the best route runners in the NFL. Let's not forget what he did.
Underrated. Yeah, he's criminally underrated.
Let's not forget what he did at Dallas's last year there, right? His last season he actually played with I hate Dak Prescott, but his last whole season at Dallas, he put up 1,200 yards. And the year before, he put up 1,200 as well. This dude's plenty capable. And that was with CeeDee Lamb there, right? In that second year. So he's plenty capable. And route running wise is unreal. Unreal. So, and also Elijah Moore's been added to that offense as well. They were at a severe disadvantage when it came to that wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. You add Elijah Moore, you can push Donovan Peoples-Jones to your wide receiver 3 now and have Moore as your wide receiver 2. So Njoku's a great receiver. And you still have the best carrier of the ball
the most efficient carrier of the ball in the NFL. If you average over 5 yards a carry in the NFL for multiple years in a row, you're just unbelievable.
Yes. And the crazy thing is it's not like he does it in a 80-yard touchdown fashion.
No.
You know what I mean? It's not like
he has some of those, I agree, but a lot of it's 8 yards or 7 yards or 12 yards.
It's not like I had 18 carries, an 80-yard touchdown, and then if you take that out, I averaged 1.9.
Yeah, those are some of those Derrick Henry games where he has 30 carries for 170, but he had 2 50-yard rushes. It's kind of skewed a little bit.
And that is my thing too. The argument of Derrick Henry is a better runner than Nick Chubb is how many times did the Titans handle the ball? Now I understand too that the Titans, weapons around him are pretty terrible, to be quite blunt. Mm-hmm. And it's a team can put eight guys in the box, right? They can blitz 3 linebackers and be fine. I mean, you can run a 4-3 blitz all 7 and be fine because Tannehill's not picking you apart. But I mean, how many times does Derrick Henry run the ball like first and second down and it's 3rd and 8?
Well, I mean, we saw if you're a Bengals fan, last 2 times the Bengals have played the Titans, Derrick Henry averages like less than 3 yards a carry. If you actually have a real D coordinator that can game plan for their weapons at least, and you can't really do that with Nick Chubb. You can stack the box, and he's still going to find a way to get 6 yards.
Yeah.
So don't really know how you stop Nick Chubb if Deshaun Watson's the lead again.
Yes, exactly. In Deshaun Watson's case, you're not in a Houston backfield, right? I mean, I don't even know who the RB1 was there. It would have been
it wouldn't have been Arian Foster. It would have been Lamar Miller.
It was David Johnson, right?
I think David Johnson was there.
It might have been after David Johnson even. It probably was. Well, I don't know. I'll look it up real quick. So it would have been 2018 Texans RBs. Alfred Blue, Deontay Foreman, Lamar Miller.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean,
honestly, those guys were not that bad then, though. But they weren't Nick Chubb. I mean,
and also you look at the offensive line too. I mean, the Browns' offensive line is one of the best. I mean, lines.
Oh, they're top 6 in the league.
Yeah, I mean that's being like harsh. I mean,
absolutely. No, I
probably.
Agree.
I mean, if you're being generous to them, they're probably top 3. I mean, I mean, I'm thinking of like some elite offensive lines. Eagles are up there, obviously. I think the Lions are up there. The Browns are up there.
49ers are pretty good.
49ers are probably just because Trent
Chiefs.
Williams.
The Chiefs O-line's great.
Yeah, but Browns' offensive line is spectacular, and Deshaun Watson in play action is going to have the time and the space that he's never had before in his career, which is scary, really scary. Because, and just because, like what we said earlier, he's a great thrower, but he also has that rushing ability that on a bootleg can be really dangerous, really dangerous.
Yeah, and something about Deshaun, all off the field stuff, he really looked really bad last year. And I think there also is a small possibility that he's just can't recover. Mm-hmm. I don't think that is a very probable possibility. I think that still is a possibility, though. Mm-hmm. And then, so the team I'm kind of the most scared about is the Ravens, kind of the last 2 years. If you go back to that Bengals-Ravens playoff game, Tyler Huntley was their starter, and they almost beat Cincinnati in Cincinnati. That team is loaded. They got Odell. They got Zay Flowers. Mark Andrews was hurt. He was coming off an injury. But their weapons are pretty good, and I'm kind of a believer in J.K. Dobbins again.
Yeah. Well, J.K. Dobbins is a great running back. He just has really struggled to stay healthy.
I mean, you want to talk about efficient? He is about as efficient as Nick Chubb is when he gets carries. And, that's people would think you're crazy. He averages, basically 5 yards a carry, too.
6 yards a carry in his career.
6 yards a carry. Dude, that
on 227 yards.
Yeah, so that's
in 2022. In 2022, he averaged 5.7 yards per carry with his longest rush being a 44-yarder.
That's great. I mean, he was great at Ohio State, so but he's not very big. Nick Chubb's a little taller, so
yeah. But they're both real stocky, stocky. And the other thing too is what running. The Ravens run a ton of shotgun. I mean, pretty much every play is in the shotgun, right? And running an inside zone for J.K. Dobbins' perspective, running an inside zone with Lamar Miller as your quarterback is very different than running an inside zone with Joe Burrow as your quarterback, because an inside zone can very easily be a read option.
Absolutely, yeah.
And every time it probably is, right?
Yeah. So, if a DN's wide, if you're facing Peyton Manning. Or like a statue at a quarterback, or like an Aaron Rodgers at this point, or somebody like that. The DN's crashing every time. I mean, they're literally just going straight to the running back. But with Lamar, it's like if you don't contain Lamar, he's literally gonna hit his head on the goalpost for a 70-yard 6 juke run. You know what I mean?
He had against the Bengals 3 years ago.
Still, honestly, that was when we were tanking. We were tanking for Burrow. Yeah. We were really tanking for Tua. That was the tank for Tua phase. And I wanted to lose that game, but that was one of the lowest points of my fandom, I think, was was that to go up by like 30 in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Really happened. I was like, dude, you gotta be kidding me right now.
That was that was his MVP season, right?
Yeah, that was.
And I had him. So I was in 3 fantasy football leagues and had him in all 3, and that was before he broke out. So I got him in like 6th, 7th round.
Yeah.
And took him in all 3. I bought
Anthony Richardson
all
this year.
in. I had a draft. I'm actually gonna pull it up here. I had a draft earlier today. I was drafting while I'm at
the game.
While I'm at the game. Yeah, I thought the draft was at 9 p.m. I thought the game was at 7, and if the game would have ended like in regular time, I would have been fine. But it didn't. So I'm gonna share this because I want your
Okay.
So I was drafting from the, let's go to my team here. I was drafting from the 110.
Okay.
In a 10-man league. And
so let me guess, you took Bijan first or the Saquon first? Bijan first?
It was 10-man league, so I was at the turn. I don't remember which one I took, but I took them 1 and 2.
Okay.
And then went DK and Calvin.
Okay.
I don't like how the board fell. I wanted like an Olave or a Higgins.
Yeah.
And it just didn't give it to me. And then at the next turn, I wanted Kamara. I thought I was going to get him, but I didn't. I took Hawkinson. I overpaid for Javonte a little bit, but I love him.
I like your bench.
But bench is really solid. I don't have okay, cool. Yeah. I just queued some defenses and kickers and then got out at the end because that was when the penalty shootout was going on.
Yeah,
so
I actually like Matt Gay. Like, he's actually a good kicker.
Yeah, my only issue is I don't think Indy's offense is going to be good, so I'll just take it. I'll probably just pick somebody up with a better.
You could literally just
offense.
pick up. My thing is like, dude, just pick up like Greg Zuerlein's always there on the Jets, and I think they're going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I've been taking like Jason Sanders too. With Miami.
That's a good team though. I think Drake London's going to be a stud.
Dude, I do too.
That preseason game against the Bengals last Friday, he had a couple catches that were nasty, and you know it's bad when I'm watching the Bengals preseason and like at all really because none of the starters played. But football season's good here.
Yeah, well, and this is what I like too is how many I have DK who in the beginning of the season is going to be better than at the end because it's pre Smith and Jigba being involved, right?
Yep.
So I have people like a DK. I have Drake London that's dominating immediately. Even Calvin Ridley, you'd think's dominating immediately. Yeah. And then I have these guys like Quentin Johnson, Jameson Williams, like Ayuk, who's going to come on at the end of the season. So I feel really good about that. Brian Robinson, someone I'm really high on too, dude.
I think so too. Yeah, no, I like Brian Robinson too. Okay, so to kind of segue into the NFC North, Jameson Williams and the Lions. Are you a fan? Are you a fan of Jameson Williams? Like, do you think he's actually going to be good?
It's tough because I haven't seen him much, and I will say this. I'll say that Teddy Bridgewater came in, and I'm going to be a little bit sidetracked here.
Number 50, Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, number 50, number 50, Teddy Two Gloves, and try and tell me that is a regular sight to see a quarterback with awesome. 2 gloves and number 50. But so I'm gonna be sidetracked a second here, but it'll relate back, I promise. Teddy Two Gloves has already showcased himself as an excellent leader, directly with Jameson Williams in practice, staying after getting in work, and just being like a huge supporter. He had some drop issues, right? And he did in the week 1 preseason when he played, and Teddy Two Gloves was the first person talking to him, saying like, "Dude, don't worry about it." Dude and then JMO makes an insane 2-point conversion catch after basically dropping a touchdown earlier in the game. Great catch there. And then Amon-Ra, have you seen his 201 catches a day?
I have not. No, I haven't seen that.
He goes to the jug machine after every practice, 201 catches, 201 balls a day, and does his different. I mean, he's doing his one hands, his regular 2 hands, his standing, like catching them like here, whatever. Yeah. And so he mixes it up, but 201 passes a day. He used to do 200 a day in high school, and that's what his dad got him to do.
Okay.
But then somebody started doing 200 with him, so he decided to do 201, which is just an elite mentality. But So pairing the leadership that you have between Amon-Ra, showcasing that in his young career, and Teddy Two Gloves, being a great leader, Jared Goff's a great leader. I think that you can kind of pull Jameson Williams into that work your ass off type of ethic, work ethic. I'm hoping so. His raw potential is through the roof, like unreal.
Yeah, I agree with that. The reason I'm a little skeptical about him, I traded him to you in our keeper league.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I kind of am a little bit, he is objectively maybe the greatest receiver I've ever seen play college football, other than what Jackson Smith and Jigba did in that Rose Bowl game against Utah.
Yeah.
Jameson Williams just did stuff that was crazy. I'm not saying he's the best prospect, but like in a college game, he was nuts.
I mean, he was drafted 12th overall.
Yeah.
With a torn ACL.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree. And well, to be fair, the Lions have had some questionable draft.
He was going to be taken there. Anyway.
Oh, I agree. He was going top 10 healthy.
And he was going to be taken before 20, like the way he was.
Oh, absolutely. No, I agree. Same with same with Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, it's the same thing. I agree. I'm just saying, I think he could be really good, but this is also like the Jalen Carter situation, I think, where comes in, isn't maybe as mature as they thought he was, and can they put a system around him where he can kind of develop that? And he's really young. I mean, he's 21, right? Or is he 22?
JMO?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I mean, and I was talking about this the other day. How hard would it be to be 21 years old and be handed a $18 million signing bonus?
Yep.
Or 26 million guaranteed, I guess, or 20 million guaranteed.
Yeah, and for him, it kind of gives me the vibe of Kadarius Toney from that draft class.
Mm-hmm.
Is unreal potential, speed through the roof.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the gambling thing too just shot him in the foot with being able to start the season off right.
Yep, and the gambling thing, in all honesty, wasn't terrible. I mean, it sucks, right? It's bad from him, but it's not like he was betting on. It's not like he was being Calvin Ridley, right? He was betting on something that he was allowed to bet on. He was just at a team hotel, which was considered a team facility.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunate. If he does it, if he goes to a restaurant and does it, it's like he's playing in week 1 if he's healthy.
Yep.
So it's not like, it sucks, but it's something that he was betting on, something that everybody does. It was probably just lack of education.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't blame him for that.
No.
I don't blame him for that. What I do blame him for is coming back. You heard reports in the preseason where I don't know. There's a lot of separation, right? There's just been this vibe where he isn't, I don't know, taking the steps that they want him to.
Yeah,
I guess in practice.
I agree. I mean, he's drop issues immediately right now. We didn't see it last year. Now we're seeing it.
And now he has a hamstring that we can't see him in the preseason before.
Yeah.
So he's not going to practice for, up until week 1. And then he's going to be suspended for 6 weeks, has to leave the team facility, and then somehow come back and gain that, chemistry. Like last year, he came back and he just didn't have that chemistry with Jared Goff because it was too late.
Right. And last year, we saw a sneak peek, right? We saw an end round against
he's electric. He had that touchdown that got called back too. Was that the end round?
He had the touchdown against Green Bay. That was a flea flicker. That was unreal.
Okay. Yeah.
He caught it at midfield in 15-degree weather. It's not like his muscles are loose. And it was good luck catching him. I mean, as soon as he caught the ball and started to turn up field,
that's the guy at Alabama.
Yes. And that's the thing that we've seen enough, glimpses of it, right? I mean, it gets called back because there's a holding or whatever. It doesn't matter. We saw it, right?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm a sucker for receiving talent. And it's the same thing with Kadarius Toney. It's like, if this dude could just get out of his own way and not get hurt.
Well, you know what vibe it gives me is it gives me a John Ross. Is a guy that was spectacular in college. Yeah. Unreal speed, but can't can't turn the corner on. I'm in the NFL. I'm becoming instead of a fast receiver, I'm becoming a good receiver. That's also fast.
Yep. I agree. It's kind of like the turn that Tyreek Hill took like his second to third year.
Yep.
where he was like good with Alex Smith, and then he realized that you don't have to outrun everybody down the field. You can catch the ball short and then outrun everybody.
Yep.
So it's just more about the route running, I guess. And I sitting here armchair quarterbacking everything. Listen, we couldn't get open against anyone in the NFL. I don't even if like a D lineman.
I couldn't get open against most high school DBs, dude.
Yeah. Well, so it's so hard to run routes in the NFL. It's so complex. The defenses are so complex. There's obviously a learning curve. And all I'm saying with Jameson Williams, we've kind of been on this for a while, but Jameson Williams, like, he just hasn't had time to adjust in game. So once he gets time, I think he's going to be a good receiver. He could be elite. He could be very good. I think it's somewhere in there. I don't think he's going to be a bust. I really don't.
No. I think his floor is kind of higher, is significantly higher than John Ross. Obviously, we saw what his floor is, right? Just because John Ross in college was this will be my last thing about Jameson Williams, then we'll talk about the rest of the division, is John Ross in college was throw me a bubble screen, throw me a deep ball, that's all I had.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Jameson Williams in college was, sure, throw me a bubble screen, sure, throw me a deep ball, but throw me a 10-yard out route. Throw me a post. In my post route, I'm torching the defender. Give me a slant and I'm taking it to the house. Like, so he had way more of a diverse, portfolio of routes he could run than John Ross. So I think his floor is a lot higher just because of that. But the drop issues he does need to get figured out. But I mean, he has plenty of time to get that.
I don't care about drop issues in practice, dude. We saw Jamar Chase, man.
That's what I was gonna say too.
I mean, Jamar Chase dropped everything in his first training camp. Mm-hmm. And then he would go in I know in fantasy football's on it, but like round 8 in fantasy, and then literally had 300 or 200 and something receiving yards against the Chiefs. Like, it just it doesn't really matter.
No.
Some people just play better when the lights are on, and I think Jameson Williams will do that.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
Absolutely.
But let's
look at the rest of this. Let's look at the rest of this division.
I have a hot take
for the rest of the division.
Sizzling take. Yeah.
Okay, I think you do have some burning ones sometimes.
I know. I'm usually wrong too. Jordan Love, I think, is going to be really good. And let me tell you why. So the parallels between him and Rodgers are crazy. I'm not saying he's going to be Aaron Rodgers. Both waited 3 years. Okay, so even if Jordan Love's bad this year, Rodgers' first year starting. Have you seen? There's like a documentary on Rodgers. Yeah, if you want to look, they went 6-10 Rodgers' first year, and he was mediocre. He had like a 90 quarterback rating, something like that. Okay, so I really think Jordan Love with these. I think Christian Watson could be really good. And I really, really think that Jaden Reed, who they drafted in the second round, is going to be like actually a pretty good slot receiver.
At the Spartan there, I hear what you're saying, and I'm with you. I'm a little bit frustrated at how good Jordan Love has looked. And watch how similar this throw right here is to what Rodgers makes. You watch.
Look at the placement.
No. Watch the mechanics.
That's what I thought too. That's the first. He explains it. It's kind of like explain.
And it's the foot kick up, dude.
Yeah.
It's exactly like what Rodgers. It's the exact mechanics Rodgers has. And it's great placement. But yes, dude. When I saw this, I was frustrated because I was like, come on now, we were gonna have the Packers number for a few years.
Yeah.
But honestly, dude, my burning hot take for the division is that the Bears are criminally overrated this year. Criminally. What part about this offense is good beyond Justin Fields' rushing ability? DJ Moore, do we want to look at what DJ Moore did last year with Justin Fields last year was one of, if not the worst passer in the league. Okay?
Worst. Easily the worst.
And so you're bringing in a receiver that put up 900 yards and has declined over the last 3 seasons each year. And a running back one of Khalil Herbert. I'm sorry, there are 25 running backs that would start on this team right now.
I understand.
Cole Kmet, solid young tight end. He's done nothing.
He got carted off today.
Did he really?
Yep.
Perfect. That fits my hot take even better then. I'm gonna act like I knew that before I before I came on there with that. But like you have Darnell Mooney and blanking on his name from Chase Claypool as your wide receiver 2 and 3. Those are pathetic 2 and 3s. Like Chase Claypool, people are still just like hoping you get the second half of the season from his rookie year. You're never going to get that because it was pure luck. He was open on a few deep balls and had a few like multiple touchdown games. I mean, he hasn't done anything the last year and a half. So like, I don't see the defense is solid, linebacker room great, defensive line not bad, defensive backs decent, but I mean, you're looking at a defensive line that's like, I mean, or an offense that in order to win is going to have to put up 25 minimum. And I don't like we saw it with the Ravens when Lamar Jackson was there. He had that spectacular season running the ball. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, he's unstoppable." He's stoppable. You just had to game plan around it, and people had to figure out how to game plan. I think that's going to happen to Justin Fields this year.
I think so too. I don't think he rushes for, he's on pace for 1,200 yards last year. I don't think he rushes for 1,200 yards. I think that Roschon Johnson for them could be pretty good. Their rookie running back.
Yep.
The problem is okay. So Deontay Foreman was elite running the ball last year in Carolina. Khalil Herbert has been effective, with all the advanced metrics, PFF, stuff like that, expected yards per rush. Roschon looks pretty good in the preseason, but the problem is when you have 3 running backs like that and you have to rotate them, what does that look like? It's not like there's just so much instability with that. And their O-line is decent. It's better, but it's not good.
No, by no means is it good.
So you're telling me that I have to bet on Fields throwing for 2,200 yards, going from 22 to 3,500 in 1 year? I mean, that's insanity to me.
I mean, here's the offensive line. Let me know what names you recognize. So right tackle Darnell Wright, right? We recognize him, rookie out of Tennessee.
He could be okay.
Yep, he's gonna be good. Nate Davis.
Yeah, of course, former Panther.
Cody Whitehair.
Okay, Cody Whitehair's a league average, maybe.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Their backup left guard is the greatest player in the league, by the way. So starting left guard Tevin Jenkins. Tevin.
Yeah, I think he just got hurt. I think he'll be out.
Okay. And then their starting left guard is Alex Leatherwood, the GOAT.
The GOAT, dude. Oh my God. Okay, you want to talk about bad draft picks? Bad.
Yeah, all
criminally bad.
And then you can go on rant about him. Left tackle's Braxton Jones. So their entire offensive line really else. And Darnell Wright, solid, but a rookie. So I don't know what you're looking at here, but you're looking at an offensive line that's not going to be great. You have a rushing quarterback. The likelihood of Justin Fields getting hurt this year, dare I say it, is very high. Very high.
Yeah. I mean, you have to combine the quarterback injury rate with how many carries he gets rate. And I mean, it's pretty high. I mean, last year he didn't play a couple games at the end because they were trying to save him. Just because they were out of contention. There's no reason for your franchise quarterback to rush for 25 attempts in week 17 and 18. That's just stupid. It's kind of like in the MLB when you're out of contention and you're young ace, you're just going to shut them down. It's just dumb to try and do that. But I really do think the Bears could be better. I loved it, and I know that they didn't tank last year, but it was the best thing for their franchise to get the number 1 pick. It was awesome. It really helped them out, and I think getting DJ Moore really helped them out. But for them, what's their over 100 wins? I think it's something crazy, 7.5.
It is 7.5. Yeah,
that is in. Okay, here's the thing: if Justin Fields, say he goes from 2,200 to 3,000 passing yards, they'd have to win 5 more games.
See, and here's my thing is the ceiling I think is 8-9. If he's exceptional, Roschon Johnson, Khalil Herbert do great. They're 8-9. I think if all goes great, absolutely perfect, Justin Fields puts in a damn near MVP season, they're 9-8. Their floor is 2-15 again. Because if Justin Fields misses 8 games, they're going 0-8.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Their offense is built around Yeah, it's literally built around Justin Fields. It's like the same thing when the Titans, when Derrick Henry got hurt, they stink. They're
Yes.
awful. They can't move the ball. They're terrible. It's because
Yes.
they only have one good. Now DJ Moore is good, but nobody's going to give him the ball. So it's like it's just different. I don't
Yes.
know.
No, it is. But okay, so let's shift focus. The Packers, we think, are going to be a decent. They're going to be better than what people are thinking they are.
I don't think they'll finish last.
No, I don't think a burning hot take here as well is I think the Vikings could finish last in this division. I don't think they will. I think the Bears do, to be quite honest with you. But I think the Vikings could. The fact that they went 10-1 in one possession games last year, 10-1, you're going to regress back to the mean there. And also just looking at what did you do in offseason, right? You lose Adam Thielen. I understand. You replace him with Jordan Addison, probably fine, right? For this season, it's going to be equal to what you had. You lose Dalvin Cook. You're putting Alexander Madison in there with nobody behind him.
Yeah, it's like Ty Chandler. Yeah.
Yeah. Previously, you had Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison, which was a great pairing. Now you just have Madison. Obviously, there's some rumors that Jonathan Taylor's going to make his way to Minnesota. But you lose Eric Kendricks on your defensive from your defense, dude. I just don't see where they. Last year they were decent. They won a ton of one possession games. I think this year they're going to regress back to the mean. And at some point, you'd like to think, I hate to say it, Justin Jefferson has been absurdly healthy through his entire career. You don't see that all that often. Going into his fourth year now, you would expect at some point he's going to miss a game or two, right? Maybe 3. And when he does, that receiving core is like pathetic.
Yeah, I actually really think that Jordan Addison's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of saw it at Pitt with Kenny Pickett, and then we saw it last year with Caleb Williams. I think he could be pretty good. I think net positive for the Adam Thielen. I think he'll be better than Adam Thielen was last year. Them getting TJ Hawkinson's big was big last year. Like, was that around the trade deadline?
It was like week 9, I think, because we were 1-8. We were 1-8 when we traded him, and then
you were 1-8.
Yep,
we were 1-7.
1-7. We were 1-7 when we traded him, and then we went 7-1 after that.
Yeah,
or 8-1 after that.
And then, so I really think that TJ Hawkinson makes their offense pretty good. I'm still a believer in Kirk. I think he's going to throw for a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns, but their defense is old.
Mm-hmm.
Like Harrison Smith is like 60, and he's not 60, but he's like getting up there. He's an all-pro guy. He's probably a future Hall of Famer, but he's getting older. Hunter's getting older on the edge. I don't know. They just have a lot of guys that are older.
Yeah. No, I mean, they do. And when you look at what you did last year was kind of your year, right? You had a great season. You won a lot of close games that you probably should not have won. And now you lose a significant part of your offense. You lose a significant part of your defense in Dalvin Cook and Eric Kendricks. And then, I mean, you add Byron Murphy, and he's a great addition. Don't get me wrong. But I just think this defense is going to be significantly worse. I'm going here with this division. I'm going with the Lions at 1. I'm in all honesty, I know I just talked about the Vikings dropping off. I think they might even finish second. A hot take doesn't mean it. I just have to firmly believe it. I have to think it might happen. I'm going to go Lions, Vikings, Packers, Bears. Bears are still finished last, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think for this, I think the Lions finish first. I'm guessing, like, if I had to guess, probably 10-7.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vikes could be 10-7 in second. Tiebreaker goes each way, or 9-8. I could see that.
Yeah,
I think they're good enough to finish above 500. Packers, I'm guessing somewhere between 6 to 8 wins, maybe. And then Bears, who knows? It's a wild card. I do think though, if Justin Fields gets a lot of momentum, and we saw the passer that he was at Ohio State, they could play really well early because it's going to be warm out. I'm just worried about them when it's Chicago and it's November and it's 15 degrees and there's 30-mile-an-hour winds, and Justin Fields says, remember last year he said, like, I don't like throwing in the wind.
Yeah.
Well, buddy, you're in the worst city then.
Yes, literally. Yeah. You're in the wind. You're in the windy city.
And I get it. Like I've like, I played quarterback in high school, so that doesn't really, it's nothing like the NFL. I'm just saying, like, throwing in the wind sucks.
Yeah.
It's awful. But if you're in the NFL, you should have the arm strength to be able to throw through the wind.
I mean, Jay Cutler did it for years.
Jay Cutler was actually a baller there. I have another hot take. If Jay Cutler was on this team, I think they'd actually might finish better.
Yeah,
because Justin Fields, I don't know. He's great at running. He could
but
make.
I don't think they have the receiving weapons to support Jay Cutler, though.
I'm against that. I think Darnell Mooney's actually a lot better than you think.
I mean, I will say that he had Justin Fields thrown to him last year and was decent, and he had Mitch Trubisky, who was pathetic 2 years ago. I will say there were a lot of routes that Darnell Mooney ran. I saw plenty of film on it where it was like he was open and Trubisky threw it 10 yards deep. So yeah, I mean Darnell Mooney's not bad, but I mean maybe having a veteran quarterback would help. Yes.
Like they don't have the worst receiving core in the NFL.
No, there's worse. I mean,
like I would actually argue that on paper the Packers is worse.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean Dobbs has done nothing in the NFL. I mean, in all honesty, what Darnell Mooney has done is more than what Christian Watson's done so far.
Yeah, and DJ Moore is better than Christian Watson too.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like the Bears wide receiver 2 has done more than the Packers wide receiver 1 so far. But Amon-Ra clears by a ton. Everybody.
Oh, I mean it. Wide receiver ranks and that goes Jay Jetta's. I think 1 easily. I mean that's not a hot take.
No.
Amon-Ra 2, the Sun God. Number 2, and then after that, it's kind of just not really sure yet. I don't think.
Yeah. Okay, so I went Lions, Vikings, Packers, Bears for the AFC North. Excuse me. I'm going to go Bengals. And I'm going Ravens, Steelers, Browns at the very bottom. The Steelers and Browns could flip flop there. I think. In all honesty, I think 2 through 4 is wide open. I'm not a Bengals fan. I'm going to say that I think the Bengals win it. Obviously, barring any huge injury, they should win it.
And I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
I think that the Steelers will be significantly better than what we saw last year. And they also, as much as you don't like Mike Tomlin consistently getting winning seasons and finding a way to do it, he does. And I mean, there's nothing stopping this Steelers team from being 9-7 going into week 18 and coming out with a win and going 10-7. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I say I'm a Bengals fan. I get it, but me being unbiased, I actually really like Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
And I really like the program. I don't know. I like their team a lot. So, I just don't think that Mike Tomlin can overcome the Joe Burrow thing or Lamar Jackson, I guess, over a full course of a season.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you. So that's all we got. It's been a late night live stream. We got some more streams coming up. We'll have weekly streams once football actually starts. Talking fantasy football, starts, sits of the week. That's going to be fun. Those are always just so fun. I mean, we'll go with everybody projected between whatever 8 and 12 points per game, whatever the typical flex would be, right? We'll talk about starts or sits there, some matchups we like, matchups we don't like. We'll get into that soon. We also we'll get an AFC West and NFC West going as well here soon. But we got 2 weeks until football. 2 weeks from tomorrow is when Detroit is going to knock off the Chiefs on Thursday Night Football, hopefully. Yeah.
I wouldn't bet on that.
No, I'm not going to. But dude, I just want it to be competitive. That's all I want. Competitive.
What's the line? 6? Is it 6, 6.5, 7?
Yeah, I think it's like 6.5. Which, hey, if we cover that, I'm cool. I mean, obviously, I want to win.
I'd be fine with the NFL just trusting my team to be in a primetime kickoff game.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they know is it's going to be an offensive shootout, dude. But dude,
also
I will say,
the mini bye too for week 2.
I will say the last thing I'm talking about real quick, the Lions' defensive back room got significantly improved, and now you have Cam Sutton, you have Emmanuel Mosley, dude. And you have Brian Branch, who's been wonderful, and CJ GJ, dude.
Yep.
your secondary is miles
Dude,
ahead of
Brian
where you are.
Branch has some clips this preseason that are nuts.
He's gonna be a dog.
He's gonna be a dog. I can't believe he lasted till what, 46?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, Brian. I wanted the Bengals to take Brian Branch at 20. Or were they 28?
Dude, if Detroit would have taken him at 18, I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all we got for today. Until next.